Howdy, everyone. Welcome back to a political episode of Texish, the show about some things, Texas.
And some things not.
We're going to talk about things that are out of our depth today, but before we do that...
Tito's and Shiner, gonna be an all-nighter, and I just might find her at the Whataburger line. Dance halls and women, but man, I'm wishing that I was fishing by the river tonight in Texas.
We're going to talk about things fully within our debt. Our not sponsors. Seth.
Not sponsors. They don't sponsor us.
They give us no money to do this show. Seth, who is our first not sponsor for today's episode?
Our first not sponsor for today's episode is CBD.
CBD.
Does it do anything? CBD. Everybody's telling me to put it in my body and it's going to help me, but it really just tastes like poop. CBD. Hippies love it. CBD.
It's Catholic weed.
CBD. It's an easy way to add $2 onto whatever you're selling. CBD.
Did someone say placebo effect? CBD. Give it to your mom. She still won't use it.
CBD. Every celebrity has a line of it. CBD.
I hate CBD.
It's like, dude, why is it in my gasoline?
Why?
I don't understand
CBD
what
gas,
is happening.
CBD pizza, CBD beer, CBD t-shirts.
CBD coffee?
That one's weird.
It's so weird. It does. First of all, does not taste good.
Always.
And you can't make it taste
and it
good.
never tastes
I'm
good.
sorry. I don't care what kind of soft drink, sugar-laden bullshit you come up with. I am not drinking CBD.
It never tastes good.
No.
CBD. Our other not sponsor.
Who's our other not sponsor?
For today's episode in the political theme is Candace Owens.
Candace Owens.
Are you subtly racist but want people to think you're not?
Candace Owens.
Do you not really have any black friends but want to feel like you do?
Candace Owens.
Do you hate pandering but do you fall prey to it anyway?
Candace Owens.
Do you like one message and one message only but you like that it comes from somebody who doesn't look like Megyn Kelly?
Candace Owens.
Ripping off white people since 2018.
Candace Owens.
It's been sitting on it for... That feels so mean. I'd like...
It's really funny.
If I meet her in person...
I was not ready for that at all.
If I met her in person, I'm sure
I had nothing for that.
I knew it was coming out of left field.
The only thing I had was...
Go for it.
The only...
Here,
okay, set me up.
Candace Owens.
I've got a white friend.
Candace Owens. You've got
I couldn't even say it right. I've got a black friend.
Candace Owens. Every Southerner's token black friend. Candace Owens.
Candace Owens is the person every far right wing person every far right
Say it with me. Every far right
white dad pulls out as his like trump card.
Yeah, when his daughter is visiting from like UT
whatever it is.
North Texas, whatever place.
And they're starting to go a little like they're starting to experiment with liberalism and like, what's this idea?
They're opening their mind and they're talking to their dad about like, Dad, sometimes you say things that are not cool. And he's like, well, I listen to Candace Owens.
Yeah. Like, come on.
And it's like, that's not...
I'm not racist. I listen to Candace Owens.
See, I've heard someone say that. And it's just one of those things where I'm sure she's a really awesome person and really nice.
She's clearly intelligent.
I mean, clearly, because she had two options. She was like, I can go to CNN and say things I don't mean. Or I can go to Daily Wire and say things I don't mean, but sell so many t-shirts.
Here's what I appreciate
that way.
About... By the way, great not sponsor. That was hilarious.
Thank you. I've been waiting.
I couldn't think of anything because I was like... I was surprised and like, that was awesome.
I went there. It's No Shave November.
It was great.
Crazy. I'm unhinged.
More like No Shame
crazy.
November.
Anyway.
Yeah, No Shave. We're
letting her out a little bit. Haven't had a kiss in 3 weeks.
I think it's really funny that Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro, all the people at Daily Wire and whatnot, honestly, they're the only news outlet that is trustworthy in that they are so honest about their slant.
Yeah.
There's no, like, they don't hide. They're like, I am right wing. I see everything right wing, and everything I'm going to talk about is from a right wing perspective.
So respect.
So
I respect it from
they're not pretending.
And I respect that they're like, this is a marketing funnel. Pay for the rest of it.
Like Fox is like, this is how everything is. There's like, this is absolutely
Fox
neutral.
Is like,
We're
there's
completely
no
neutral.
slant at all. And it's like, there's such a slant.
Clearly a slant. Meanwhile,
same with CNN. They're like, there's no slant. We're open-minded.
Slant.
Complete slant.
Meanwhile, Daily Wire is like, no, this is the slant.
This is the slant.
This is absolutely the
slant. We know who we're talking to. Yeah. Thanks for your money.
So respect.
Yeah. Respect. And again, I respect that they're like, we are in the business of selling ad space. We're making a lot of money doing it. Yeah. Thank you for tuning in.
Candace Owens. All right,
man.
My man. Is our small town of the week.
Well, that usually comes after Once Upon a Time. All right. So Once Upon a Time in Texas history.
I knew I was wrong because I started singing it, and I was like, nope, that's not the right word.
You were singing, but you meant,
Okay, look, real quick. I'm on meds that are messing with my brain in a really weird way.
It's pretty funny.
How it's obvious to me.
It's obvious to me. Okay. I don't think it's obvious to Jake or like anyone who doesn't know
Jake's
you.
Met me twice, and only when I'm...
Yeah, you seem like you're on CBD. You seem like what people think CBD makes you like. So once upon a time in Texas history, in 1836, the Republic of Texas immediately established the position of land commissioner.
Yes.
So this position in public office in Texas predates the position of governor and all other state offices established by annexation
talking about this.
in 1845. So the commissioner serves a 4-year term and is elected statewide. So here's a couple of notes. The titles of Commissioner of the Texas General Land Office and Texas Land Commissioner are used interchangeably. There is no land commission. In 1836, the Republic of Texas Congress formed the General Land Office to manage the public domain. The charge was to collect and keep records, provide maps and surveys, and issue titles. In addition to encouraging settlement of public lands via land grants, scrip certificates were redeemable for land and used to raise cash to finance the Texas Revolution and the expenses of the young nation. Because the federal government would not take Texas land as debt payments, Texas entered the Union owning its public land. Also, unlike other Gulf states, Texas owned its submerged lands, or tidelands, 3 marine leagues about 10.3 miles into the Gulf of Mexico. This proved to be a bounty that would yield rich rewards for the Lone Star State for generations. Think offshore rigs. The Texas Constitution of 1876 set aside half of Texas' remaining public lands to establish a permanent school fund, PSF, to help finance public schools. State legislators intended for this land to be sold and the proceeds to be deposited into the PSF. Over the next century, deposits to the PSF would be an inexhaustible source of revenue because only interest income from the fund could be spent and would be appropriated among the state's public schools. Today, the Texas General Land Office is focused on maximizing and diversifying revenue resources for the permanent school fund. For instance, the Land Office is leading the charge on the development of renewable energy of state lands as a sustainable source of earnings for the PSF. With historic leases for offshore wind energy, solar, and geothermal, the Land Office is helping to diversify revenue for future generations of Texas school children. With over 175 years of history, the Texas General Land Office is moving into the future and finding new, innovative ways to serve the people of Texas. One could argue the Texas Land Commissioner is the real governor.
One could argue.
They got it.
And I might be one of those people.
Yeah. So it's one of those things in politics that if you don't pay attention to it, you don't even really realize what's going on or what this person does. The Texas Land Commissioner controls a lot. Not just from a legal standpoint, but from a financial standpoint. It's kind of crazy.
They have their hands in so many different pockets in Texas.
Yeah.
And they help orchestrate the flow of funds from our natural resources.
Yeah. And there's a lot of those.
I don't
know if anyone knows that. Texas is rich in natural resources.
There's a reason there have been 6 flags over Texas.
And it's not because the women are pretty. That was such a bad joke.
What?
Such a bad joke.
Oh my God.
I like entered into that creepy old guy that's like college is fun because all the girls.
That was
it wasn't good.
What was that?
That was like an impression of a bad uncle. Anyway, continue. You were making a point.
Sort of. That derailed it. But think about it like this. So everybody loves Yellowstone, right? In Yellowstone, Dutton holds the position of
land commissioner.
There you go. And that's a really important piece of the story. And maintaining that position is really integral to the way the family runs their business because of what they can do with land. The land commissioner basically approves all big state projects.
All big state projects, all small state projects.
Small state projects.
And protect the future of agriculture and sustainable regenerative agriculture.
Or just as easily
completely reverse it.
Absolutely.
They get to say where you can and cannot hunt. They get to say where money from all these resources due to the PSF go. Because I think you don't catch it if you read it. Originally, all that money was supposed to go to the PSF.
Yeah. It no longer does.
It no longer does. It kind of says like a lot of it goes to the PSF. Very clearly, a lot of the money that comes from Texas' almost boundless, bountiful natural resources don't only go to
where they're supposed to.
And it's
almost like governments
are a little corrupt.
Are a little bit
well,
corrupt.
Again, it's one of those crazy things where it's one person.
One person
can just say, well, what if we put money over here? And what if we didn't put money over here?
And based on the position of their powers, they can do that.
So pretty freaking crazy.
Pretty crazy, right?
Yeah. And it's interesting to watch. With all that in mind, it's been interesting to watch
and it's the land commissioner and the attorney general that are kind of the behind the scenes two most powerful people in Texas.
Yeah. I mean,
those are the ones you got to look at.
Government.
The gubernatorial race, which we're going to talk about, is the sexy race. That's what everybody
it's
talks
fun.
about.
It's fun to talk about. But there's a reality that there's two other positions that
you got to look at.
The men or women who occupy them are the ones actually making a lot of the decisions.
They set the tone.
And it's pretty crazy. And it's also been interesting to watch, and with in mind what the land commissioner can do, what they have the power to do. Watching both campaigns for it right now, they're very like, I will protect the land, or I will do this with the land, and that's a part of it. But no one's saying like, when the money comes in, here's what I'm going to do with it.
Yeah.
Or, this person has decided to funnel this money here for the past 4 years. Here's what I would do with it. It's all, Texas is pretty, and I'm going to keep it pretty.
I'm going to be pretty for Texas.
Or you like hunting? You can keep hunting.
You like blue bonnets? Don't touch them.
Yeah. So, yes, they do that, but I wish they would come out with an ad with, I really like Lamborghinis. I'm going to buy Lamborghinis with the money.
Look, all this money that's supposed to go to, your kids and stuff, F your kids. I'm gonna go to the Bahamas. It's gonna be a good time.
I'm George Bush, and I approve this message. That was I don't know if that's.
Oh yeah.
Now watch the strap. Okay. So want to hear about our small town?
I want to hear about our.
All right. Our small town of the week is Quintana, Texas. Quintana. It is a town in Brazoria County, Texas, United States. Its population was 56 as of the 2010 census.
That's a big town.
Very big. Quintana is located in southern Brazoria County, and it's also located on Quintana Beach along the Gulf of Mexico. It is bordered by the city of Surfside Beach to the northeast, across the entrance to Freeport Harbor, and by the city of Freeport to the southwest in an area of Bryan Beach. The intercoastal waterway to the northwest separates Quintana from the main portion of Freeport. According to the United States Census Bureau, the town of Quintana had a total area of 2 square miles, of which 0.66 square miles are land and 1.4 square miles are covered by water. It's very poor. There's not a lot of people. And other than the beach, there's not a lot of reason to go there. That's direct from
Quintana, Texas, everybody.
Quintana, Texas. Go check it out. No, I looked at pictures and stuff. It looked like a really cool beach to go check out.
Oh, nice.
So,
it might actually be a nice beach.
A lot of people don't realize in reference to land in Texas that in February, January, you can go to the beach and it's 80 degrees. So if you don't like the coldish of Texas, go to Quintana Beach. Go check it out. Have a little beach time.
I think it's funny that the Gulf of Mexico is like the ugliest water in the world. But if you go to the other coast of Mexico, and like the other Sea of Cortez, and gorgeous,
the prettiest place ever. What? Yeah, it's so ugly and pretty that in the Sea of Cortez,
California del Sur, and just like all that.
Yeah, the Sea of Cortez sharks are like, this place is awesome.
This place is dope.
And in the Gulf of Mexico, sharks are like, sucks here. Like in one place there's fish, and another place not as many fish. Because they know, like, this one's dirty.
This one's dirty. This
clean.
one's not. So I am going to go dive with the whale sharks for sure. That's on my list for next year.
Nice. Can't do that in the Gulf of Mexico.
I know, but in the Sea of Cortez.
Yeah. Do you want to see my impression of someone scuba diving in the Gulf of Mexico?
I want to see it. Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
I can't see anything. That's my impression of someone.
That was good. That was good.
Yeah. Thank you. Want to see my impression of someone scuba diving in the Sea of Cortez?
Yeah, let me see it.
Whoa!
I'm gonna need them to put like a little thing of goggles over your face whenever you do that.
I mean, it's both great because you can't make any noise with the scuba thing in your mouth. It's more like so.
Hey, do that again.
Running a small business is incredibly hard when you have no idea how to market it or brand it clearly. Small business owners, small business operators across the country work so hard to make products and services that they are proud of, but almost always hit a plateau in growth. That's why Creators Collective is here to help. For years, we have helped businesses triple, quadruple, even 5 times their revenue by creating branding and marketing content that clarifies your brand and drives sales. So if you are at a bottleneck or at a plateau, trying to grow your small business, even stay in business, make sure to visit creatorscollective.us right now. Schedule a call so we can find out what services you need, how we can work with you, and make sure that we can boost your bottom line so that you can grow as a business. All right, who's our badass of the week?
Our Texas badass of the week is one of the biggest, baddest Texas badasses of all time.
Covered some pretty cool people.
Sam Houston.
Okay, Sam Houston.
Sam Houston. And Sam Houston was one of our badasses who was not born in Texas.
Okay.
But played one of the biggest roles in the Texas Revolution out of anybody else.
It's true.
He was born in Tennessee in 1793, March 2nd, to be precise.
All right.
He grew up kind of wild.
Okay.
He didn't like religion, and his mom did.
Got it.
So whenever
that's always a good combo.
When he was very young, he went to live with the Indians of the area.
Okay.
For 3 years.
Like just on his own.
Straight up, just was like, I'm going to go live with this
be an Indian.
tribe of Indians.
Okay.
Learned the language, fell in love with a young woman,
Got it.
got married to her.
Okay.
They were not about that.
Okay.
The government of Tennessee did not recognize
Did not
the
really
marriage.
like that.
He became very close with that particular Indian tribe. They even named him Raven in their language.
Okay.
And I want to make sure I get the name of that particular tribe correct because I can't remember if they were Cherokee.
Okay. So his name in Cherokee was Raven.
Was Raven.
Whatever. Yeah.
So, he was born in Rockbridge County, Virginia, not Tennessee.
Okay.
They migrated to Tennessee.
Got it.
Yeah. So he spent 3 years with the Cherokee, becomes known as Raven, marries somebody, has to give her back up.
Legit? Like
like legit. They made him marry somebody else, like in Tennessee, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. So this is the wife that he wanted to divorce, but she didn't recognize divorce.
Got it. Okay. Gotcha.
So
she was probably
he's like actively courting other people and completely married just because she won't.
Because she won't give it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So Sam Houston, he learns Cherokee language. He becomes, a skilled tracker, and he ends up like joining the army. He serves under Andrew Jackson in the War of 1812.
Okay.
And presided over the removal of many of the Cherokee. This is where, it's kind of dicey, right? And Houston is an interesting figure in that he always straddled the line. He was always very centrist, very moderate, very much, okay, I see where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from. What's the compromise?
Yeah.
In almost every situation, and it panned out very well for him over his life. He makes friends with so many different people. Andrew Jackson, James K. Polk, Steven Tyler.
Did you say Steven
Tyler? Tyler.
Wait.
Texas. Tyler. I'm on weird meds. I have an excuse for this.
I went to Texas public school.
I know.
I have an excuse for this.
Is it not Steven Tyler? It's Stephen F. Austin and...
Maybe it is Steven Tyler.
know.
I just know that Steven Tyler
is also... we'll figure it out or do retraction. So he helps with the removal of the Cherokee and is elected as governor of Tennessee in 1829.
So in the state in which they made him give up his wife and marry someone that he eventually didn't want to marry, he still became governor.
He's a badass.
Okay.
So he becomes governor after divorcing his first wife.
Okay.
He resigns from office and moves to the Arkansas Territory.
Okay.
He settles in Texas in 1832, and after the Battle of Gonzales, he helped organize the provisional government and was selected as the top-ranking official in the Texian army. He had no
Yeah.
real power, but it was more about the title.
Yeah.
He couldn't say what the army was going to do, but he had the biggest title and like was named the highest person.
Yeah, which
so
was
whenever,
also kind of a rapport thing.
It was a
for
rapport
the
thing.
Texas Army, right? Because
Yes.
they're probably like, oh, this guy, war hero, studied under Andrew Jackson, has done all these things, is now like the top.
has friends in the U.S. U.S.
Yeah.
Congress and the Senate because he served as governor
Yeah.
of Tennessee. His serving as governor of Tennessee is part of the reason that Davy Crockett ended up down here.
Yep.
He respected Houston that much, right? He leads the Texas Army to victory at the Battle of San Jacinto, the decisive battle in the Texas War for Independence against Mexico. That's where they capture Santa Anna.
Yeah, broke his leg with a cannonball.
I love that, like, can we just shout out the cleverness of Santa Anna for a second? Like, he was, no, because
Where's this going?
he was able to play both sides for a long time.
Fair.
He was able to lead an army for a while, and whenever he got caught, he was able to successfully disguise himself as a common soldier for a while.
For a little bit.
Yeah, like he almost got away. I just like tip of the hat, man.
Yeah,
Good job.
Good job.
But we're better. So the Texans did eventually capture Santa Anna and won their independence. He
Broke his leg with a cannonball.
and he was
That's not true. Just before anyone's like referring to that at Thanksgiving.
yes. So he won the first presidential election.
True.
And we talked about that in one of our other badass episodes, but he won the first presidential election, making him the first president of the Republic of Texas. And that alone earns him a place in the Texas badass annals, right?
Yeah.
Like he is absolutely
Honestly,
solidified.
the other stuff he did is more impressive.
But yeah, like so far, he's just such an impressive guy. Like he at this point has been governor of Tennessee. He's president of Texas. He's led the Texans to victory against Santa Anna. He is crushing it, killing the game.
Yep.
Right. But he's not done yet. So he plays a key role in the annexation of Texas by the United States in 1845 and 1846. His role was because he was such good friends with James K. Polk.
Okay.
Andrew Jackson actually didn't want to annex Texas.
Okay.
And it wasn't until James K. Polk got into office that they were able to persuade Congress to do so.
Got it. Okay.
Now, once Texas is part of the United States, guess who gets elected governor?
Sam Houston. Go Bearcats.
Go Bearcats! So at this point, he's been president and governor of
He's been
Texas.
governor twice.
He's been governor twice.
Is he the only person to ever be a governor of two states?
No, there are a couple other people, but it's a very short list.
Okay, cool.
And he's the only, because he was president of the Republic of Texas, he's the only foreign delegate to be elected to United States Congress because he was elected to Senate.
Oh, that's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
He's the first person to do that. Texas elected him to represent Texas and their interest in Congress,
Okay.
which he did admirably.
Yeah.
Right? And then eventually he would become governor of Texas again, I believe. Yeah, he became governor of Texas again. And during this particular time, he really tried hard to keep Texas from seceding.
Okay.
So again, this is one of the times where he was very moderate. He was against the extreme right. He was against the extreme left. Wish we had more people like that in our
I think
government
most people
now.
are like that. We always talk
Most
about
individuals are.
Yeah.
I wish we had more people in government that way.
true. They're going to die.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
But he was very opposed to slavery expanding.
Yeah.
Again, an interesting guy in that he himself owned slaves. He ran a plantation, but was against slavery expanding. He, at one point, tried to partner with Britain to prevent slave trade from continuing in Texas.
Yeah.
And they had to, they had to put down various Mexican forces who were trying to bring slaves in at that point. So from his perspective, he knew slavery would die out.
Yeah.
But again, of the time, in context, his position was those states who have it should keep it unless they vote against it. Any new states should not have it.
Should not have it. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, very
The game was all about squelching slavery over time.
for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very much this is not necessarily a moral issue that I can solve today, but I can lay the framework to solve it down the road.
Yeah.
Which again, that makes him in some ways not the best guy.
Yeah.
But at the time, that was a very impressive feat, and it was something that a lot of people were opposed to.
Yeah, at the time, that was radical.
Well, and you'll notice that Texas did secede.
Yeah.
We
didn't really listen to
We
him
didn't
on
really
this.
listen. And at that point, he was, loyal to Texas. So he did not, go to the Union, though he did caution against war, and would help, he would help Texas.
Yeah.
There are just some interesting little things that happened. I do want to find this quote he had because I thought it was kind of cool. Let me see if I can scroll to it. His Wikipedia is massive. Sam Houston
Not
did
like
a lot of
Utana's.
stuff. One of the only things he lost at in life was where the capital in Texas was going to be.
Yeah, because he wanted it.
He wanted it in Houston.
Yeah.
And it was for a little bit.
Well, I mean, if it was in Houston, it would end up underwater anyway.
exactly.
Houston is literally the rich man's New Orleans. Let's get real.
100%.
And the
Okay,
Astros.
so this is a speech this is an undelivered speech that he wrote about Texas seceding,
Undelivered means he wrote it.
and didn't say it,
Didn't
but
deliver it.
it's written
Okay.
down. Fellow citizens, in the name of your rights and liberties, which I believe have been trampled upon, I refuse to take this oath. In the name of the nationality of Texas, which has been betrayed by the convention, I refuse to take this oath. In the name of the Constitution of Texas, I refuse to take this oath. In the name of my own conscience and manhood, which this convention would degrade by dragging me before it to pander to the malice of my enemies, I refuse to take this oath. I deny the power of this convention to speak for Texas. I protest against all the acts and doings of this convention, and I declare them all null and void. And then, and that was about him being drug in front of Congress.
Okay.
And losing his position as governor because he opposed secession. On April 19th, 1861, he told the crowd, "Let me tell you what is coming. After the sacrifice of countless millions of treasure and hundreds of thousands of lives, you may win Southern independence if God be not against you, but I doubt it. I tell you that, while I believe with you in the doctrine of states' rights, the North is determined to preserve this union. They are not a fiery, impulsive people as you are, for they live in a colder climate. But when they begin to move in a given direction, they move with the steady momentum and perseverance of a mighty avalanche, and what I fear is they will overwhelm the South." According to historian Randolph Campbell, Houston did everything possible to prevent secession and war, but his first loyalty was to Texas and the South. Houston refused offers of troops from the United States to keep Texas in the Union and announced on May 10th, 1861, he would stand with the Confederacy in its war effort, and he would die not too far after in Huntsville, Texas, where his grave is today.
Okay. Did he die of natural causes or in a gunfight?
He died of natural cause.
Okay, because he was probably old-ish by the time this is all going on. Anyway,
he died at 70. And
dude,
his health,
that's like
he just
100 at that time.
Honestly, he just had like a decline in health.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some fun things,
Yeah.
Sam Houston, amazing guy. Look into him, read more about him. He's our Texas badass. He was shot in the leg as a kid during a battle and kept fighting.
Kept fighting.
It was an arrow. He got an arrow in his leg and just kept
Dang.
fighting. Later on in the Texas Revolution, he was shot in the ankle during the Battle of San
What's some
Jacinto.
people shooting at his leg?
Right. Well, he's on a horse, so it's kind of the height
like
thing.
high level. Okay.
So he gets shot in the ankle during the Battle of San Jacinto, and is like he's hurt, like he's suffering.
Yeah.
But he makes sure and waits until he knows Santa Anna has been captured. And oversees all of that
Then,
before
like,
he goes and gets
squeezes his
treatment.
leg on top
Yeah,
of
he just
Santa
like breaks
Ana.
it off and puts
Yeah.
another one on.
Take that, Santa Ana.
He was, because of his fluency in Cherokee, he met up again with Sam Houston. It's a lot about the people he knew.
Yeah.
He
had a
was
lot of
like a
connections.
master networker.
Yeah.
And he met back up with the original Cherokee chief that he had lived with, and he
It was
fought.
like, how's your daughter?
He fought. He fought for the Cherokee Nation in a lot of ways. He arrived to a congressional meeting dressed in traditional Cherokee garb.
Can't do that now.
Well, no, but
Can you
he
imagine Ted Cruz showing up in an Indian outfit?
it made a political enemy of somebody because they hated it so much they kicked him out.
Wow.
And later, upon being questioned about about his integrity in Congress, he beat the shit out of somebody with a cane. He was drugged before Congress, fined like $5,000, and kicked out.
Of Congress.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
And we think Twitter spats are bad.
Texas badass.
I think that's the most badass thing that he
right?
did was
these
beat
days
somebody
Dan
up in
Crenshaw
Congress.
just tweets at AOC. I want to see an MMA fight.
Yeah,
let's go.
And honestly, I would hope AOC gets a few shots in.
I'd put a bet on it.
Yeah,
Just,
yeah,
you know,
it'd be
you
like
never
a
know.
little, parlay.
Look, Dan can't see out of an eye. Like,
just get on his
just
right side.
just on his
and-
right side. There you go. There you go. He won't see it coming.
Oh man,
I'm done with wheelchair jokes. I'm on to blind
now
jokes.
we're on to this one.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Great. Dan Crenshaw, we respect you.
We respect the crap out of you.
Just get off Twitter and do your job, please. Seriously, he's always on Twitter. It makes it harder to take him seriously.
you wonder why you have eye problems. Staring at that
all
screen
that blue
day.
light. Did you see his Houston Astros contact?
I did. That was
That was pretty cool, actually.
Look, his little eyepieces are kind of badass.
They're pretty awesome.
And I'm not gonna lie, it would be great to have a president, a governor with an eye patch.
Oh, yeah.
just for the photo.
Since we don't have one,
I mean, like, we might as well.
and it'd be fun to put him further back in the lineup and show it to someone and be like, which one's out of place? Because they'd be like, well, that was 1800.
But that was clearly.
Yeah, that belongs there. Again, we actually respect Dan.
Oh, I love
Crenshaw.
Dan Crenshaw.
Just
Get off Twitter.
Get off Twitter. We won't make fun of you. That's his. I think the message we try to send to everybody we make fun of: don't say anything stupid, or do anything stupid. Can't make fun of you.
The thing about Dan Crenshaw I like the most is he's got vision.
I mean, for him, hindsight is definitely not 2020. Anyway, so we are recording this on Monday, November 8th, 7th,
7th, I believe.
7th. Check that.
Yep. And 7th.
7th. And, early voting has been going on here in Texas, midterm
Did
elections.
you vote? Did you not? I don't know.
How do you feel about the, get out and vote? Vote!
I'm very much in the same camp I am as sports teams. I want you to be enthusiastic. I really do. But don't shame anybody. Look.
Some people just don't want to do it. There are people who view...
And there are people like me who don't want to show you that I did it.
Yeah. I would rather people not know whether or not I voted and not know who I voted for.
I definitely feel like we need to rock the vote. I want people to vote because it's the most influence you have as a citizen.
Well, I mean, at this point, it's the only semblance of influence we can have. We can rage on Twitter and talk on our stupid podcasts about politics all day.
Yeah.
They're all in the back room from the left and right. Getting together over $1,000 dinners, exchanging money, and having a good time.
Look,
they're winning.
They're in it for them. They already won. That's great.
Yeah. Whoever the politician is, whether you like them or not, whether they align with your values or not, they're pocketing so much cash. They're not for you. And period. End of story.
It's politics. We all know politics is a little twisted, a little sick.
Yeah.
Everybody's always known that. Nobody's ever trusted politicians. That's just how it's always worked.
Yeah. But I just, so there's so much militance around voting these days. I was just curious what your perspective was.
Well, I mean,
on
my
that.
perspective is it's my duty. It is. I am asked so little as an American citizen.
So little.
Truly, I feel blessed to be an American. I feel like I have been given so much, and I feel like it is one of the small things I can do to be part of the country, and show my support for the people I believe in, and maybe have a little bit of a voice, in my local elections.
Heck yeah. So if you wanted to go out and vote and did, great. If you chose to abstain for whatever reason,
We understand.
That's
No
your
shame.
prerogative. We don't know who won.
No, we don't. Not
point.
at this time.
What are you putting any Mattress Mac bets down on this? Or
Dude,
are
I'm
you just
putting
hoping it's
$3 million
at some point soon?
on Jill Sanders. What?
Yeah, I wrote in Jacob Sacco,
Jill Stein,
honestly.
sorry.
So,
Wrote in Matthew McConaughey.
yeah, honestly.
McConaughey.
Honestly, I wish Matthew would put his money where his mouth is.
He won't, man.
He won't. I mean,
None of these actors that are in their prime, kind of like The Rock and McConaughey are, where they're finally making the stuff they want to make, are going to do anything political because it instantly divides half the country.
Well, then they shouldn't talk politics at all, in my opinion. I feel like
I'm on the fence about this.
They can't throw their hat in the ring and their opinions in the ring. It's like, well, okay, let's vote them in and see if they do what they say they're going to do. Shake it up a little bit.
I mean, look, I agree on the principle of if you're not willing to get your hands dirty, don't talk about it.
Yeah.
But politics is one of those things that everybody who is a citizen gets to have an opinion about it.
But do you have to share your opinion all the time?
No, you don't have to. And honestly, I don't think you should get to.
Yeah.
We look at people in positions of influence for direction. And in that respect, I have no real problem with actors, celebrities, whatever, endorsing who they want to or saying what they think about politics. I just think that it's on you, the listener, to be like, well, that's an actor.
Yeah.
You know, like
well, that's
their world is this, their context is this, because we all have a very specific
even on those
context
to
that we
look at it and
operate
say, well,
from.
that's an actor. So there's a list of people they can't endorse publicly. So there's a chance they don't even support this person.
And same on the other side, like if you are a landowning, West Texan with an with a rig on your land, even if you do vote Democrat, you can't tell.
Yeah, you
people.
can't tell anyone at the coffee shop at 6 a.m. or the diner that serves coffee at 6 a.m. You said West Texas.
Yeah, no, right.
Myself.
Yeah. If you're in Sanderson, there's a great little.
If you're in
coffee
Sanderson,
shop.
you can't. I don't know. It's interesting. We were talking earlier about there was a time where if you were going to talk about politics, it was pretty cordial. You could disagree. Dust it up a little bit, then finish, and you're still friends. Or you just didn't bring it up. Well, look, it didn't matter.
I was talking to my friend Howie, and Howie is a 50-something-year-old New York Jew, and everything about that.
New Jew.
Like, what?
New Jew.
Yeah, there you go.
New York Jew.
And Democrat, very hyper liberal, very intelligent.
Yeah.
And I was talking to him the other day just because I like to talk to him, and he was telling me that whenever he was a kid, whenever he was growing up, his parents, they grew up in Staten Island, and they had a lot of different political views than a lot of Staten Island, which is very Republican.
Yeah.
And they would have friends over, and they would discuss politics because that was what was going on at the time. If it wasn't politics, it was sports, whatever. Yeah. And they had the ability to say, well, I disagree with you for these reasons, and state their reasons, and then listen to the counterpoint.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, and either change their mind or not. And shake hands and still be friends at the end of it.
Yeah.
There is, and tell me if I'm wrong or if you've noticed this or not, within our generations, there is this inability to listen and a refusal to entertain any other thought that isn't the one that aligns with your belief.
Yeah, well, we've moved into a culture where, and I mean, tribalism is a real thing, for sure. But
always has been.
We've moved into a culture where, like, love and nicety is contingent upon our beliefs aligning. And that's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
It's weird.
I mean, even, thinking about your friend Howie, I know there are people on the right who would hear this person, talk about their beliefs and just hate them. Like,
without knowing that.
How can they think that? How can they yada yada? If you're from West Texas and your father owned land and you're from an oil family, there's a likelihood you believe a certain way because you were brought up in an environment that's this way.
It's all context.
Howie was brought up in a Jewish family in New York. Both parents were liberals. So his environment,
he was probably going to be.
It's crazy how easy it is to step back and think, well, this person had this experience growing up. So clearly that's why they believe this way. Cool. Like, I had an experience too. That's why I believe this way. It's crazy that we came to different conclusions because we had different circumstances.
Yeah.
So just wild. I'm glad election season's over so that we can move on from
I'm exhausted
reporting on politics, but
which is not our thing.
Not our thing at all. We are in the comedy and history categories. So before
and
you
we fell on that sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. But we thought we'd have a little fun since we don't know who won yet.
No idea.
We have our ideas of who could and who could not. We are hoping that no matter who won, what land commissioner, attorney general, and governor, that for the next 4 years as Texans, we can come together as a people and align on what being a Texan is.
Because the important part, right, is what the people want and do, not what they tell us to do.
Let's not give these three people so much power and influence over our day that anytime they say something or anytime they donate to something, all of a sudden we hate half of our friends. Let's do it differently this time.
Absolutely.
But if we were voted
into office,
we have some ideas that could make Texas better.
Seth for president.
Wait, I thought it was for governor.
It is, but if I'm getting elected, it's president of Texas. Okay, gotcha. I'm taking.
Oh, is that your first mandate?
My first mandate as president of Texas is that we stay connected to the United States.
Okay.
But we formally declare ourselves semi-independent. So nothing actually changes except my title.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
So So I become independent, really.
Gotcha.
That's my first measure is that governor becomes president, and we're semi-independent, but nothing changes.
Gotcha.
So that's my first move.
My first move, so our second move for Texish for governor, I would remove all the walls at the southern border to solve a real problem and put it at New Mexico
Oh, thank God.
and just keep all that
That was
filth.
going to be my second one.
So yeah, I'm going to put that
Put it
over there,
like
and with
the
the remaining
the
stuff,
actual problem.
yeah, like the actual, like none of this New Mexico stuff.
Do you have any left over for Oklahoma?
Oklahoma's fine. I'm cool
fine?
with them. I was gonna use the remainder to do like a seawall on the bayou so that Louisiana
Kinda stays.
stay like that way when
Tell you what, Houston and Nacogdoches would be really happy if you did
yeah,
that.
I mean, when New Orleans inevitably breaks off and falls in the sea, I don't
Again.
want any of that Girls Gone Wild voodoo stuff to like float over to our Gulf. So we're just
Sure.
gonna do a little seawall over there.
We'll see all over there.
So yeah, I'm an inclusive guy,
Yeah.
except for New Mexico and New Orleans, and keep those away. All right, what's your next move?
Okay, so my next move as president of Texas,
Presidente.
El Presidente, my next move would be to mandate
Okay.
that every child in Texas be brought up learning how to use a gun safely.
Define safely for everyone who's getting their phones out to DM you right now.
I would mandate that every person born in Texas
Yeah.
or moves to Texas has to take the hunter's safety course, the concealed carry handgun licensing course, and they have to spend a couple hours a year hunting. There you go.
And when they hunt, are they cleaning what they kill, like harvesting
Absolutely,
what they kill?
yeah,
eat what they
absolutely.
kill? Cool.
That's
I
like
really like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I really like that.
And you have to learn all those. You're taken by and I'm creating jobs here. A Texas certified hunter safety guide.
Yeah.
Who
you
will
get to choose whether or
you just
not
choose
you conceal
bird,
carry,
deer,
anything
fit.
like that.
You can do
Yeah.
any of that stuff. But he's going to take you through everything, and you are going to learn how to clean the animal, use different parts of it. Yeah. So
I
that's
like
my
it.
second man. That's my
All
second.
right, I like it. I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it.
yeah.
All right, third mandate. I'm going to mandate a round robin bare knuckle boxing tournament
Love it.
between Texas A&M, UT, and Texas Tech.
No Baylor.
No. What?
I love how you're just like, what is that? school?
If Baylor can find a real bear
Real quick,
to put in the ring, I'll accept it.
which school is more, Baylor or TCU?
Baylor. Definitely Baylor.
'Cause
TCU is
it's
kinda
in
cool.
Waco?
I would allow for a private school division. So like
Okay.
TCU, Baylor, Dallas Baptist, and SMU could have like kind of their, but bare knuckle boxing.
Weird. I don't put Baylor and TCU. Like, I feel like Baylor's here and TCU's here.
See, I feel like
It's just-
TCU's here, Baylor's.
It's just like Baylor's in Waco. So,
Well, like I don't like the traffic there,
as part of the
so-
bare knuckle boxing thing, can you also eliminate the existence of Waco?
Well, that was my next move. So, yeah, you're a little ahead. You're getting a little ahead of me. So,
Okay,
and here's
okay.
the thing: we would still have football and everything, But
But also,
the real deciding factor of who gets to talk shit and like
Yeah.
the best school would be who won the bare knuckle boxing championship last year.
male female division or anything goes.
I'm gonna go tag team co-ed.
okay.
Yeah, tag team co-ed.
Weight classes?
No.
Open.
Yeah, it's on them to choose
the
the
open?
right person.
All right,
I mean,
cool.
that's part of how you factor
Choose the
in. Well, it's the
champion.
best school because they chose smart. You know,
Dude, I love this idea.
yeah, they went with reach over height, and it
Love
really,
this idea.
Yeah, so
Absolutely love
that's
this
my next move.
And it's not drug tested.
No, clearly not.
Absolutely.
If anything, you're given drugs.
Okay. Next thing I would do as
Okay.
president of Texas, July 19th would be declared national, because Texas is a nation now.
Yeah.
National Dazed and Confused Day.
Okay.
And we just have the day off to watch Dazed and Confused and get high.
and like cover 15-year-old girls in powders and feather and drive them through a car wash.
Yes.
And like paddle.
Absolutely.
Everything. I'm just making sure is
I'm just-
everything
yeah, yeah.
from the movie on the
It's
table.
mostly everything from the movies on the table
Okay.
with consent. And
Yes.
yeah, absolutely.
Wait, so does every citizen have to send in their consent card? Like I consent to
When you register to
Dazed and
vote, you're
Confused Day.
consenting to Dazed and Confused.
Okay. Oh, wait, every year they should be able
So
to
it's 18
vote-
plus.
Wait, every year they should just be able to vote whether or not Dazed and Confused Day stays.
Right.
And if
yeah.
it's here, you have to.
Yeah.
That's your consent.
That's your consent.
It's like the Purge, just Texas style.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it. All right, so the next thing I would mandate.
It's like the Purge, except you just drive around and hang.
you just drive around and hang out and go to the party at the Moon Tower.
And look, every single like Texas controlled station is tuned to Dazed and Confused.
I like
and all
it.
the radio stations play classic rock.
I like it.
Yeah, yeah.
What's your favorite Dazed and Confused line?
That's a really good question.
Meds.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
I like it. Yeah. Nice.
That's my favorite.
All right. My next one is before getting a job, whether it's, right out of high school, right out of college, whatever that entry level job is, you have to prove that you can eat a pound of brisket,
Okay.
Texas style,
Okay.
or no job.
Or no job.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm going to eliminate 2 rounds of the interviews for people since there's 50 rounds of interviews to get a job these days. But you have to be able to house a pound of brisket before you can go to work.
Love it.
Period. End of story.
I love it.
Yep. All right. What's your next thing?
Next thing, all political positions in Texas are now unpaid.
I like that one. I like how you're going serious and mine are
I'm
just
like
here's the dumbest idea.
I'm sorry,
ever.
Dazed and Confused Day is...
That's a great idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea. But it's also not serious. Like, come
I
on.
thought that was, I want it to be serious.
Oh, fair enough. I mean, I have Dazed and Confused Day every
Yeah.
day. But,
Nice. I like that.
but yeah,
I like that.
all political positions, no pay. You don't get
I
any
like
money.
that. I like
It
that.
all goes back to the state.
Good. Good. It all goes to the PFE since apparently nothing's been going
Apparently
there
nothing's
from
been
public
there.
land forever.
Yeah.
I like that. Really
Thanks, man.
good.
Appreciate
Heck
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yay. Cool.
What's your next one?
My next one.
Is this the last one?
Yeah, last
All
one.
right, cool.
Yeah, we got to wrap up. My next one. See now I'm like, do I need to throw a serious one in there? To show
Say
that I'm
whatever
not
you
just
had,
joking
if
all
you-
the
you know.
time? I mean, other than the Texish podcast having to air on all platforms,
I mean, that's just like...
all lanes
Yeah.
on every highway, 80 miles an hour and over.
Dope.
And if you drive under 80, you get sent to Oklahoma.
Nice.
That would be.
I like it. That's your
next thing.
punishment.
Yeah.
You got to go to Oklahoma.
You gotta go and you gotta stay. Like you can't come in.
What if, okay, they drop you off in Norman and you have to find your way back?
Make it Tulsa and you got a deal.
Done.
All right, cool.
I can.
If you like our idea,
Hey.
in 4 years, there's a new midterm election.
Midterm election.
And we'll keep in mind everything we just said. Days of Confused Day, new wall for New Mexico. And maybe we'll come up with a couple other things. If you have ideas for what you would like us to implement in our campaign,
Let us know.
send us that. Hit us up on YouTube at Texish Pod. Don't forget to listen, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Follow us on Instagram at Texish Pod. We appreciate you guys listening. We love all of y'all so much.
Bye, y'all.